Hello Taurus, this is Tamara from Tamara Tarot, and I'm going to do your reading for the first 2 weeks of October, from 1st to 15th of October 2017. This is a general reading, and this reading is for Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon and Taurus Rising sign, and I hope it resonates with you. If it doesn't, please watch your Moon sign or Rising sign. For this reading, I'm using Gilded Tarot deck by Caro Marchetti, and I'm going to draw a couple of clarifiers from Wild Unknown Tarot deck by Kim Krantz. Okay, and I'll just shuffle a little bit more, and while I'm shuffling, I just want to say thank you to all people who subscribe to my channel, everyone who's watching, pressing like buttons, commenting and donating, and people who book their private bookings with me. And if you are interested in a private booking, please look at the information underneath this video and description box. Alright, let's start. I'm going to draw 10 cards. I'm going to do the Celtic cross for you, dear Taurus. And the main energy for you for these 2 weeks is the Ace of Swords. It's a start of something, something, you will find the truth about something. You will find the clarity in these next 2 weeks. Okay, just shuffle a little bit more. At the center of the reading we have Seven of Wands, which is covered by the Page of Wands. At the base of the reading we have Wheel of Fortune. Recent past we have 8 of Cups. What crowns the reading is 2 of Cups. Near future we have the World card. The way you see yourself is as the 9 of Cups. In your environment we have the High Priestess. Hopes and fears we have the Temperance card. And the outcome we have 5 of Cups. We have a lot of major arcana cards over here. We have the Wheel of Fortune, fantastic card. We have the World, another very positive card. And the High Priestess and Temperance, all very positive cards for you, dear Taurus. So the core of the reading we have a 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands is the cards of defense. Is defending what is yours, what you think is yours, and you probably at the moment in the position where you maybe under attack, or you're in a position of defending what you believe is yours. Is it a relationship? Is that possessions? Is that work? It could be a situation or somewhere. But you can see him and the door is behind. The card also tells you that you're actually in an advantageous position. You're slightly raised above your enemies. You very easily will be able to defend yourself and take all those attacks very easily and protect yourself from any attacks over there from this position. So it's not a negative card. It just tells you that yes, there are some sort of negative negative situation or people who are attacking you, or but you are will become quite comfortably able to defend yourself. And the challenge for this is the Page of Wands. Maybe that's the one of the Page of Wands is the start of something new. It also could be a child. The Wands represents fire sign. Fire signs is the Leo, Aries and Sagittarius people, and it could be the young, as I said, it could be your child who is Leo, Aries or Sagittarius. Or it also could be a start, because it's very early. Children represents a new start, a new beginning. It could be an early start or early beginning of some project, and maybe that's, you're trying to protect something, you're trying to start something new, but there is a lot of negativity, you know, and you're trying to protect all this, protect your ideas, protect your project, because fire, you know, he is also wants. Wants is also creative, you know, energy. It's, you know, starting something, you know, some creative project. And maybe you are starting something new, but you need to defend yourself from, you know, any attacks of other people over there. At the base of the reading, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Whatever you've been, you know, whatever was in the past, whatever, and I can see that over there in the past you had to walk away from something. Whatever was in the past, any negativity, any problems, any, you know, negative situations, it looks like your Wheel of Fortune is turning, you know, in your favor, turning from the bad to the good, and you're on the top of this wheel at the moment, because on the bottom that's where we have our problems, that's where you have all this negative energy. The Wheel of Fortune is turning for you, and you are turning, you're coming into the better period and the better, you know, better sort of part of your life at the moment. And it's a very positive card. And all the major arcana cards, they have much longer effect on our life. So when we talk about minor arcana, we say that this reading is for the next 2 weeks. There are cards like Wheel of Fortune, the World, High Priestess, or Temperance. They have much more significant and longer effect of our life. So it might not be just for next couple of weeks in October where your Wheel of Fortune will be turning. It might already started this period, and if it started, it will continue for much longer period than 2 weeks, you know. And in your recent past, we do have that Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups tells me that you have walked away from something. You turned your back, you turned it back. Cups represents emotions. And because they turned upside down over here, it could be, you know, negative emotions, something was bothering you, something created you like a headache, and, you know, you were worried about something, and you decided to walk away. You decided to leave all this behind you and move on, and start something new. And you're starting it, you know, you see he hasn't got any possessions and everything. You started it with a very, you know, minimum baggage. It could be emotional baggage. You left all your emotional baggage behind you, and you're starting it, you know, like very light and as a new person. And it's nice that you turned your back to all the negativity, because what grounds the reading is the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is a fantastic card. It's alternative to the Lover's card. It's to find a soulmate. Lover's card is obviously telling about the love. Two of Cups also can be interpreted as the love cup, if you consider this reading as the love reading. But it also could be finding a soulmate in a form of friendship, you know, having a really warm relationship with someone who is there for you, someone you can share all your, you know, troubles, all your emotions, someone you can, you know, enjoy talking to, discussing, you know, your life, sharing your problems, and, you know, bouncing ideas. It's a proper soulmate, and you do have that soulmate. That's what's, you know, the crowns of this reading. And in your near future, we have the World card. The World card is the fantastic card. It's similar to the Wheel of Fortune, but it tells me that the World card has got this, you know, it could talk about traveling the world, proper traveling by air or traveling by sea, traveling the world. But it also talks about graduation, completing something, maybe graduating from the university, graduating from the college course or whatever you were doing, completing something, completing a cycle. But it also could be graduating from the Institute of Life, where you've done really well, a cycle of your life where you got so much experience out of it, whatever was happening, you learned from your past, from your, you know, whatever was happening, and you graduated from that, you got that knowledge, you passed that lesson, and you took it, you know, very successfully in the future with you. So if there was any mistakes, if there was any errors in the past, you completed that cycle, you learned your lesson, and you graduated very successfully from it, and you moved on from this. And in the way you see yourself as very successful person, very satisfied, surrounded by positive emotions, by, it's a wish fulfillment card, and you hope, you've got this feeling that all your wishes has been fulfilled. Having the Wheel of Fortune and the World and the Two of Cups, I'm not surprised that's the way you feel yourself, that's the way you represent yourself. The slightly negative meaning of this card could be slightly overindulging. So if you are, overindulging, if you feel satisfied with your life very much and you like partying too much, maybe drinking a bit too much, eating a little bit too much, so that is a message, just watch out for that, for all that everything is good in moderation. And you do have a card of temperance in your hopes and fears, which tells you that everything needs to be in moderation, balance all your life. So that is the message over here with the, Nine of Cups for you, dear Taurus. In your environment is the High Priestess. High Priestess is the High Priestess represents the femininity. And all the best which woman presents, that's what it is. And this is in your environment. It's a High Priestess represents the beautiful woman, motherhood, being a warm person, being a good mother, being a good wife, being a good girlfriend, being there for your friends. And the High Priestess is also a card of fertility. So if if you're hoping to get pregnant, this first 2 weeks of October could be a very good period for this. If you are not, then make sure you protect yourself so you're not getting pregnant, because you're very fertile first 2 weeks of October, dear Taurus. So it's beautiful card. That's what in your environment. It's this beauty, femininity, motherhood, fertility. That's what you have. And this hopes and fears is the balance card, the temperance. Temperance tells you that keep your life in a balance, or your life is in a balance, or you're hoping to have a balance in your life. And it also tells you about moderation. So when we have that Nine of Cups, as I said before, keep everything in moderation. Don't overindulge in your, if you have a very, don't get sort of, spend too much on shopping, Try to keep, your finances in a balance, your social life in a balance, your personal life in a balance, your relationship in a balance. That is the message for you. Keep everything in a balance and moderation. That was the message behind this card. And the outcome is, I'm just trying to see that the Hermit, and the outcome card is the Five of Cups. All fives are talks about is the losses or fights, and this one represents the losses. But I call this card is crying over the spilled milk. This person is obviously upset, is being upset about something. Something will happen within this next 2 weeks where you will be quite upset. Even though you've got really positive cards, that is the only slightly negative card in the whole reading. But it's got two meanings, this card. You are crying over those spilled, cups over there. Some things will be lost. You will lose something. However, the Spirit's message behind this card, it tells you, just if only you turn your back, there's still 2 cups, full cups, standing behind your back. Not everything been lost. We cry about our losses, but, as I said, not everything has been learned. This lesson. Look, you've got a wonderful, fantastic relationship. You've got a soulmate in your life. You've got the Wheel of Fortune is turning. You left what didn't serve you. You're standing in advantageous position. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting what is yours. The world is your oyster. You graduated. Your new cycle of your life started. You're either going traveling, or you're very successful at the moment. The way you see yourself, you're drinking, enjoying your life. You beautiful person, mother, wife. There is a balance in your life. So don't cry over what's been lost. We all have losses. There is 2 beautiful cups standing behind you. And that is the message for you for first 2 weeks of October, dear Taurus. Let's see what other messages for you from this deck. We have 2 of Swords to make a decision. You need to make a decision about something. The Hangman. Hangman is very similar to the Temperance. It's also a card about, balance. And it's also take your time for yourself. Think about situation. Look at situation from different angle. And you've got another Wheel of Fortune. Your Wheel of Fortune definitely is turning. When the 2 cards from completely different decks are coming at the same time and the same reading, they're just reinforcing each other. So you're definitely having a full Wheel of Fortune, and it's a base of all this reading of these 2 weeks. Situation is changing. Whatever is happening in your life, you've got a lot of changes in a positive way. And you need to make a decision. Take the blindfold from and be, swords is only swords. You think something is blocking you about making this decision. Nothing is blocking you. It's only in your head. It's all mental. So take your, blindfold and make that decision. Be strong. And the Hangman is look at the situation from different angle. Sometimes we need to sacrifice something. But, look at this, look at the position from maybe take an alternative approach to the situation, not like as if you would normally think about it. And that's where you might find this solution, that's where you might make this decision. And maybe you will not be crying over the spilled milk, dear Taurus. Well, I hope you liked the reading. If you did, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel. For private readings, all the information underneath this video. Please come back for to watch my other videos, which will be published for the other 2 weeks of October. And thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.